the moment I spoke with you, I knew you were like way ahead of everybody else, right? And the reason why I say that is because like you were just you were kind of it's weird, but you were speaking like as if we were in the future about social media marketing and kind of the direction it was going, and and I don't know, man, it was inspiring. So I knew I had to get your number. I knew we had to stay connected, and right now I believe you're in Miami, soaking up the sun with the. Is there a lot of old people over there?
Not as many as you'd think. I think they do come to Florida, but not to Miami,
Yeah.
right? Like, Florida is definitely a retirement state, but Miami, like, yeah, I mean, you have old people, but like, not as many as you'd think, or as many as like they think in the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So I wanted to bring you on uh, during this. I think this is a very important time right now because a lot of business owners are going through this uh, kind of struggle of marketing, you know. And I know kind of a lot of businesses relied on word of mouth marketing, and they didn't really see the need in to really do like some mainstream marketing or really to do some consistent marketing. And I remember when I met you in LA, in Vegas, I mean, you said, man, if you're going to do any kind of marketing, you got to just be consistent with it.
For sure.
And I remember I was like, man, and I think I was like intimidated with the whole Facebook and stuff because I wasn't too familiar with it. But I remember about a year ago, I said, dude, I'm going to go all in and just kind of keep it consistent. And it's been pretty awesome to see how the ads kind of grow and over time and stuff. I think what's impressive is once you kind of get, you know, the 5,000 views or the 10,000, 20,000 views, and they're still pumping out information. But hey, let's talk about. So, tell me a little bit about your background, like, because you're pretty young, right?
Yeah. So I'm 24 years old, and like you said, I used to live in Pennsylvania. I went to Penn State University. Dropped out of my third year of college because I had started an agency. And I was pretty much already working with a lot of clients and getting them pretty good results to the point where I think if you're an entrepreneur, like it's in your blood, and like when you have a business, like all of your focus is there. So I just decided to leave college and grow the agency. And with that being said, in the first 2 years, we worked in over 14 different industries and got amazing results for our clients. We mainly focus on direct response marketing, meaning we ran ads for our clients and generated leads for social media. But with that being said, we also help them with just overall social media strategy, right? Like how to talk to people, how to put your message out there, how to create content, how to create different content strategies that are going to get the public familiar with your business, with who you are, with the value that you can provide to them, and how to profit from that awareness. So that's what I've been doing since 2017. And growing that agency allowed me to move down to Miami. And it's been recently that I decided to niche down with my agency.
So what was that? To niche out?
To niche down. So like, I was working in several different industries, and we were getting great results for people, but I realized that in order to grow an agency, take things to the next level, you really should seek to serve one market. And that's how you're able to get people really good results whenever you put a lot of attention behind, let's say, okay, we have this industry that we're working on. Let's really dive deep into understanding the customer, into creating ads that are really going to resonate with them. And the beautiful thing about niching down is that it's taught me a lot about just marketing in general, right? That can be applied to any number of businesses.
So let me ask you this. So you can hear me fine, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I got my Fortnite headphones on.
I see that. I see that. You got the whole setup.
Yeah. I'm actually in my underwear eating Cheetos.
There you go. Hey, quarantine, right?
Hey, so I wanted to ask you, how does one business start by defining their ideal customer? Like
Yeah.
they always, recommend, okay, who's your targeted client? How does one business go to say, okay, this is going to be our targeted client?
For sure. So if you're ready in business,
Hmm.
you should already have that defined, right? You can certainly go a little bit deeper because usually, like let's say a baker goes
Hmm.
into business, right? And he's okay, I'm a baker. Cool. You can bake a lot of things, right? You could bake bread, you
Yeah.
could bake cupcakes, you could bake brownies, and you can kind of, I think you should see, okay, like where are your strengths, right? Also, where is there a need in the market that needs to be filled? I was having this conversation with a friend recently, and we were talking about how a lot of people go into business because they know how to do something, but a lot of the times the
Mm.
market, there's no need for what they do,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I see what you're
So
saying.
they're like, yo, like I built this thing, right? And now I'm trying to sell it to people, right? And it's like, would you buy this from me? And it's a whole different approach if you look at the market and analyze, like, where's there a need in the market,
Yeah.
right? And then where is there a need? Where's there tension that I can relieve through a different solution? So
Mm.
if you want, since this is a conversation that's going to be focused on small business, I can walk you through the different framework that I utilize
Yeah.
to take my clients from like idea to like
Mm.
full execution. You cool with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So that what you said right there is, I think that's going to be very powerful, because if you think about kind of like what's going on right now with the whole the coronavirus, and how they, from one day to the next, they just kind of said, okay, your business is essential, yours is non-essential,
Yeah.
and they just kind of like put these labels out there, when before, no one even probably ever thought of that in a business plan. Is my
Yeah,
business
for
essential?
sure.
You know? So
Yeah.
I think you have a very powerful point there, because let's say there's a business owner out there that is non-essential. They can actually
Mhm.
transition by finding the need.
Yeah.
So let's go into that.
Definitely, definitely. So that aligns really well with this first. So I call this the 4E method, and it's
Okay.
4 E's. Very simple, right? The first one's empathy, right? And it's having empathy with the market. That's really understanding your customer,
Yeah.
understanding what their problem is. So, for example, the market just shifted,
Hmm.
right? Because of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
People's priorities shifted really quick, right? Whereas, like before, they might have been going out to luxurious restaurants. Maybe now, because money's tight, they might have different priorities, right? And when you talk about empathy, you talk about understanding where people are at when you're trying to reach them,
Mm.
right? So a lot of businesses don't take this in mind, and they continue to market how they were
Hmm.
marketing before the pandemic. And that's not having empathy, because that message that was connecting with your customers, with your clients
Yeah.
prior to the pandemic is a message that connected then. But now people are in a different headspace. And if you
Mm.
don't change your messaging to
Yeah.
meet them where they're at, that's a
I see what you're
problem, because
saying.
the message is not going to connect. So it all begins with empathy.
So,
And
give me an example of like what an empathy message will sound like during like the our current situation.
yeah, terrific, terrific. So, for example, there is a consulting client that we're
Uh,
working with, and he's in the HVAC industry
okay.
right now. And prior to this, he was actually just, the way he generated business was to going through networking events, community involvement, and he ran newspaper ads.
Mm.
Now, a lot of that has dried up, and he needed a way to get his message out there. So he messaged me. He said, "Hey, man, can you help me out?" I was like, "Hey, let's look at your business model. Let's see what we can do here." And we realized that with everything that's going on, he was able to secure special funding opportunities and
Mm.
special manufacturer rebates for people that needed to get a new AC unit, but were affected by what's going on, whether it was you lost your job,
Yeah.
your income is not what it was, right? Well, now because of this, we secure this for you. So now we put a new message out into the market like,
Mm.
hey, we know that like right now, the last thing that you want to do is
Yeah.
replace your AC unit. That's being empathetic,
Yeah. I see what
right?
you're saying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like meeting people where they're at. But if you find yourself in an unfortunate situation where you have to replace your AC unit, we
Yeah.
secure amazing, unbelievable funding opportunities for you to be able to do so, given the current state of affairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's marketing with empathy. Do you
I
see?
see.
Because it's meeting people where they're at,
I see
and
what you're
it's
saying.
messaging that connects.
Yeah. Versus like just kind of going with the same message that worked in the past. It's a whole
Right.
different mindset. So you have to tap into that mindset. And so what will be a couple ways to try to tap into that mindset? Like what will be some questions you can ask yourself to try to tap into that person's mind, like to the customer's mindset?
Yeah. Yeah. Great question, because you have to be able to see the world through their eyes,
Mm,
right? So you
yeah.
literally have to ask yourself, okay, what is causing pain to my customer right now?
Mm,
And you have to answer those questions. What do my customers want right now?
yeah.
What do they don't want? Right. And first is finding those motivations,
Mm,
then diving a little bit deeper. How can I connect with them based on where they're at in their headspace? So for example, with this guy, we realized like the last thing people want to do right now is replace an AC unit,
yeah, that's
especially
true.
there's so much uncertainty, right? So we realized, okay, they don't want this, but summer's coming around, so they probably do. Like if there is a need to replace AC unit, like it is on their minds, but it's the
Yeah.
last thing they want to do, right? And how can we meet them where they're at, right? And that's where like this messaging came into place, and we were able to secure that special funding for them, and we're putting that message out into the market that's a lot more empathetic.
Yeah, that's what
That's
you're
going to
saying.
connect with the people that we're advertising to.
That's so true. So, what will be some ideas or what some suggestions for some business owners that are not familiar with Facebook, but they know that that's where everybody's at right now, and they know that, man, I got it's interesting you say this because it happened today. I was speaking with an attorney's office, and they just said, you know what, we're not too comfortable with going on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, y'all got to get on Facebook because that's
For
where
sure.
everybody's at.
Yeah.
And so I guess how can I guess what are some alternate ideas they can do? Because let's just say someone's not comfortable putting a camera. What are
Yeah.
some alternate ideas they can do? For example, like can they share uh, facts, or can they share? I mean, I don't know.
Certainly, and I get where they're coming from. If especially, let me see if I understand this right. Right, were they uncomfortable about getting on Facebook because of what's going on? Like they don't want to seem like they're capitalizing on the chaos. Is
No,
that why?
no, they weren't comfortable about like how to. I mean,
Or
for
how to like
example,
get a camera?
yeah, they're not because they've never done it,
Yeah,
and they know like now's the time to do it, but they're like now we don't think that, like we're not comfortable doing that yet.
yeah.
I mean, how do
It's
you make
like it's like
that?
riding a bike. You got to start. You're gonna fall. You're gonna scrape your knee.
Yeah,
You're gonna learn, and you got to get better. Like honestly, like that's like the truth. Now, a little bit of more practical advice, right?
yeah,
There's different ways that you can communicate with people, whether it's through text, right?
mm,
Lawyers are really good at writing, like
that's
amazing
true.
writers.
That's true.
Eh, they're also really good with voice. I mean, you ever hear a lawyer's argument? Like it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
prose, right?
That's
So,
true.
so they could go on a podcast, right? They could start their own podcast,
Mm,
right? They could. Honestly, I feel a lawyer, even though they're not comfortable with the camera, like I'm sure they could go on there and they could let it out. And here's the thing: I feel a lot of people think that whenever they get on Instagram or Facebook Live or
mm,
on video, that they have to teach, right? That they have to like bring a ton of value, and
yeah.
that's not always the case. Sometimes it's very simple stories where you just connect with people,
Mm,
where you say, hey, like for example, like I was talking with a client and we were talking about this, and he was having this same dilemma, the same exact dilemma that you're
yeah.
talking about with this law firm. And on his personal profile a couple of days ago, he had posted this thing about like, man, like I really miss Starbucks, right? Like I really miss them being open. I really miss a specific drink. And like so many people related to that. Like he had like a thread of like 25
I see what you're
comments.
saying. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're doing business with people,
Yeah.
right? We're not doing business with a logo on a law firm,
Yeah. That's
right?
true.
So when I advised them, I'm like, just go on there and like share this stuff on your business page.
Yeah.
Because people are doing business with you. They want to connect with you. They want to see that you're real.
Yeah.
Right? So lowering the bar for what you think is acceptable is a good first step.
That's
Then,
so true.
yeah, it's a huge one.
Yeah. I see. And that, like that, I can see how that can be powerful, because like it kind of just lets everybody know that they're still working.
Yeah.
Like even though they're like, oh, I missed on my way to the office, but missed Starbucks. Like, and then you get engagement, and then they're like, okay, you must be working still. So
exactly.
it's a connection still. I see. That's good.
Yeah. So that brings us into the second E, in the 4E.
Okay. Okay. 4 E's.
So we have empathy, right? We cover that. The second one is engagement.
Okay.
Now that you know where your customers are at, where your clients are at, you know their headspace, we can start engaging with them. We can figure out, okay, do we want to do this through text? Do we want to do this through video? Do we want to do this through a podcast? Do we want to do this through a video call? Right. Figure out how you want to engage with your clients. I recommend that you don't just choose one, that ideally you do a variety, but like you could just start on Facebook, right? And then now you need to get attention. Engagement is all about getting attention, getting eyeballs. Yeah. And right now, when businesses are not open and people are spending a lot of time on social media, it's a perfect time to get attention, to get engagement, right? To get eyeballs on you. So a lot of businesses didn't have a social media presence before this, and they're just opening their Facebook page, right? So now it's a great time to start getting people's eyes on that Facebook page, right? So invite your friends, invite your friends' friends, tell your friends' friends to invite more people to your page, because the more eyeballs that you have on you, whether it's through your podcast, and whether it's through your Facebook page, whether it's through your personal profile, which I think it's a great way to market. If you see me, I have my business page, but I do all of my marketing through my personal profile, because people are doing business with me.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And they know that I have Trendigital, right? If you look at Gary Vaynerchuk, he's not logging in through VaynerX to talk about business.
Yeah.
He's talking through his personal profile.
Yeah, that's so true. I see that. And I could see how I've wondered why some business owners, like, they kind of they keep it too separated.
Yeah.
Like and some realtors do that. Like they'll have like a realtor's page, and then they'll have their personal page. And I'm like, why do you have two pages for? Like, just have one. That way the people know who you are.
For sure. It's inefficient. I mean, you have to market in two different places.
Yeah.
First of all. Second of all, like, man, like, you want people to connect with you. That's where like stories, like realness, like people don't want a suit and tie on social media. That's not what social media is for. Like you go on LinkedIn and do that, and even then, like, still personal content like crushes it, because we're people. Yeah, we're doing business with people, right? And if you can be likable, if you can share a little bit of your story, if you can get a little bit vulnerable, if you can share your story about how you miss Starbucks, people feel a lot more connected to you. And now you're starting to get attention, right? Because that's the other thing. If you think about social media, people don't want to go on there and get sold.
Yeah, that's so
true. Like if you're a business and you just go on there and you say, "Hey guys, we're still open for business. Hey guys, come see us." Right? Yeah. People are like, "Cool," but like that's not what you do on social media. Like social media is a place where you go and connect. It's like a coffee shop.
Yeah. I think I've made some of those mistakes too.
We all have. Yeah. Absolutely. And then you learn, and I think something that is really cool about social media is you can see what connects. You have an instant feedback loop. Yeah. Because you put a post out that's salesy, and it might get like 5 likes, 5 comments maybe, and then you put a post that connects. You're just talking about Starbucks, and you get 25 people just connecting with you, like 40 likes. Just like,
that's so true, dude. That's so true.
It's very easy to learn what works in the right direction to go into if you pay attention. And that takes us into the next E.
The next E, all right. I'm taking notes here. That's why I keep looking down.
Amazing, amazing. So we have empathy, we have engaged. Now we got attention, whether it's through the personal profile, whatever medium you want to utilize.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to educate people.
Mm.
And right now, it's a great time to do the first 3 E's: to have empathy for the market, engage them, get
Yeah.
attention, and to start educating them.
Okay.
And I don't just mean educational content, like educating them on who you are, the
Okay.
value that you can provide to them. So this connection content, that's
Yeah.
education, right? Like what we're doing through these types of content, we're educating people on the
Mm.
fact, like me hopping on here, I'm educating people on the fact that, like, hey, I'm Abraham, I have an
Yeah.
agency. You need help with social media, I can help you,
Yeah.
right? Like you're putting your brand out there too, right?
Yeah.
You're expanding your personal brand within your community and on social media, and
Yeah.
we're educating the public not just on educational content, but on who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's super important. So it's a great time. You do that through content, you do that through consistency, a
Mm.
lot of storytelling, and just putting yourself out there. And that's a key part of the process once you have the attention. And
Yeah.
and this is a wheel. So you should always have empathy, right? We should lead into you engaging with the market. We should
Mm.
lead into you educating. And this is a perfect call, right? We're
Yeah.
doing this call because we realize that there's a lot of people that need this type of content right now.
Explain the difference between sympathy and empathy.
So sympathy, I feel it's connecting with someone, right?
Okay.
It's like, man, like I feel what you feel,
Okay.
right? Whereas like I feel like empathy is more like I can put myself in your shoes
Mm.
and
Okay.
see the world through your eyes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I can
So not
connect
not
with you
not
at
not so
other
much
level.
feeling sorry for them, but like kind of more of understanding so you can relate.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
and that's
Nice.
a key business skill. If you don't
Yeah.
have empathy in business, you won't know how to sell right.
Yeah.
You will know how to build products that do well.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of people, especially maybe not in the older business community, but in the younger community, my community, there's a lot of people that are going independent, that are starting their own
Yeah.
businesses, and that are becoming entrepreneurs. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people saying like, "Hey, I create this. Do you want to buy it?" Rather than, "Hey, I thought of you and I built this with you in mind.
Yeah.
I know this is
Yes.
going to help you."
Mm.
Totally different
Yeah.
approach.
So reverse. I mean, it's like reverse engineering, but for marketing. Right now, if you have a business and it's struggling, you got to take some time and ask yourself those questions. You know, what is someone else needing right now? What void
Sure.
can I fill? How can I uh, stop someone's pain and kind of work backwards from that to see how you can come up with a solution based off of your skills and your current resources.
Exactly, exactly.
Nice.
And for some businesses,
Hmm.
it's not that the right empathy move is not to sell, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's to have empathy, engage, and enroll. Because we're planting seeds, right?
Yeah.
We don't just want to think short term. The markets are going to open up eventually. And if you took the time to plant those seeds, if you created the content, if you engage with people, if you educated them,
Hmm.
3, 6, 9 months down the road, they're gonna be more connected to you and be more likely to do business with you. For example, eh, out of this call,
Hmm.
somebody might not be in a position to do business with me today,
Yeah.
but now I'm on their radar,
Mm.
right? And maybe 3, 6, 9, 12 months down the road, they say, hey, that person, I connected with that person in the quarantine. They came, they gave a lot of value. I need
Yeah.
help with social media. Let me reach out to them, right? And I
Yeah.
understand that right now, for a lot of clients, like it's not the right time to sell,
Yeah.
right? But it's a great time to connect. In
Yeah.
my opinion, there's never been a better time to engage and educate the market and who you are and the value that you can provide to them.
Mm. So someone never, they're like, man, I don't know how to start the Facebook Live. I don't know how consistent should they make the attempts to maybe some, whether it be personal, like some post or
Yeah,
video, how consistent should they be to kind of start the momentum going until they feel comfortable?
for sure, for sure. So I generally believe that
Uh,
your 10 posts, 10 Facebook Lives, from feeling comfortable in front of a camera, from getting into a flow, from getting into momentum, to
Yeah.
getting the groove of things. Like 10 consistent posts,
Okay.
right? Like let's say you do one every 3 days.
Okay.
By the 10th post, you have so much information.
Yeah.
You have so much practice in front of the camera. Like imagine doing 10 lives. That's a lot of time in front of the camera,
Yeah.
right? Like you get really comfortable. So I would say do 10, and you're wearing, I mean, we're both GC fans, massive action, right? Like,
This is Stan Medina massive action.
is that same, man, even better, even
Yeah.
better. That's even more massive. So so you get what I'm saying? Like if you're a business owner, like that's not the right question that you should be asking. You should be asking, how can I put as much content out there as possible right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a good way to switch up that question, right? Because we, instead of like thinking that, we should say, okay, how can I put out more content, and what are all the platforms?
Yeah.
So you're not just like saying, okay, let me just do Facebook. And you know what, that's another good point too, because you got to figure out where the majority of your customers are at. Maybe if you're a boutique,
Mm-hmm.
the majority of your clients might be on Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Versus Facebook. So I guess so for sure it's going to be the Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn if your business is associated with corporate B2B business.
Yeah.
And so how would you suggest they structure their content? Like
Yeah. So I am a firm believer in 80-20 principle.
80/20
Focus your
principle?
efforts on the 20% that are going to give you
Okay.
the 80% of the results, right?
Okay.
So for most businesses, they don't need to be on all three platforms.
Mm.
Should you be? Yes. Like absolutely. But you don't need to be,
Yeah.
right? And where should you start? Look at where your customers engage, right? So for like, let's say like a law firm,
Yeah.
LinkedIn is a good place and Facebook's an amazing place.
That's true.
Instagram might not be the most ideal place. Like, let's say if you're just getting into social media, I would pick one channel and master that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I would go about it. I wouldn't say it because like if you try to master all three platforms at once, you're gonna overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
And if you apply the 80-20 principle, you'll get 80% of your results from one platform. So, for example, for me, I do really well on Facebook and I do really well on Instagram,
Okay.
right? And those are the two main that I focus on. I do
Yeah.
some work on LinkedIn, but the majority of my focus is on those two. Now I'm a social media marketer, right?
Yeah.
Well, for most of my clients, we're only focusing on 1 to 2 platforms max. And
Yeah.
I also feel a lot of businesses have the wrong perspective when it comes to where they think their customers are at, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So they'll say, oh, like I'm a professional business, they're going to be on LinkedIn, forgetting the fact that we're doing business with people,
Yeah.
right? And Facebook is just a great place, another great place to connect with people. I'd say even I would say like 80% of my business from Facebook and like 20% from like LinkedIn.
Oh
Right.
yeah. That's
And you'd
crazy.
think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. You would think, because of the business owners and all that stuff, you would think LinkedIn would be like your main thing. But I can see how, Facebook is probably more relatable, I guess, right? Because
It's more relatable.
yeah.
And that's a huge shift that for let's say people that have been in business for a while, it's a shift that it's a little hard to grasp. And it's a shift that like when it comes to like let's say it used to be that like the way you communicate with like people through like the old communication channels had to be like very, very professional.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't have to be that way anymore. Like for example, like I'll give you a great example. Ryan Serhart. Are you familiar with him?
Ryan, no.
Ryan Serhart. He's a real estate agent in New York, owns one of the biggest real estate firms.
I think I think I saw a video of him.
Yeah, he's a suit and tie guy.
Yeah.
And with him, he puts out a lot of amazing content that's very professional, but it's very relatable, right? It's still personal. It still connects. It's not like so dry like a document. And I feel a lot of times like I still see like, so the niche that I mainly work with is in the chiropractic industry. And I see chiropractors putting out medical journals as
Oh,
content, like medical journals. And I'm just like, man, like who's going to read a medical journal on social media? Right. But it's like they think like that's what people need to get. And it's like, no, like it's a different approach. People are looking to connect with you. And then if they connect with you and they like you, then they might say, hey, like, what's this? Why is this person like putting a medical journal out?
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the first approach that you put out.
So like, for example, the chiropractor puts out the medical journal, right? And it's so like whatever, what should he be putting out? Like what kind of content should he be putting out?
Great. So chiropractors mainly deal with the spine and the nervous system, right? So by adjusting the spine, they're able to get the nervous system to work optimally.
Okay.
So with that being said, the nervous system is a system that connects with every other system. They call it the master system.
Okay.
Right. So one of the systems that connects with, it's the immune system. If we go back to empathy, the immune system is something that's huge in people's minds right now.
Yeah.
So if I was a chiropractor right now, I'd be talking about, hey guys, like I would get on camera and I would say, look, I just want to give you some anatomy class, right? Like quick 5-minute anatomy class bites where you educate people. This is the nervous system, right?
Yeah.
This is how the nervous system works with the rest of your body. If your spine's misaligned anywhere on here, your nervous system is not going to be able to work optimally. That's going to cause some issues, right? And I would do it with like this types of energy, not like the nervous system is like, not put out a medical journal. So whether it's video, whether it's text, but you want it to be a little bit less rigid, a little bit more of infuse a little bit of your personality into this content. Like there's a chiropractor in Miami here, and I'm not working with him, but I keep an eye on him because he puts out amazing content. And so for the quarantine, he put out a funny video where he calls his secretary, and this is the video that he put out. He's like, Sally, I need you to find me a barber. And then Sally's like, but Dr. Joe, like all the barbers are like, they're not operating.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, my hair's crazy. Like, please find me a private barber. Call who you need to call. And she's like, I can cut your hair. And he's like, not a chance. And right. And it's a funny video that will connect with people, will, like cause like positive emotions. And people will say, hey, this chiropractor's cool, right? Like I like him. Like maybe when my back's hurt, maybe when I want to optimize my health, I'll go to this guy because he's cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And people can relate because people are posting about the barbershops being closed.
Exactly. Look, I gave myself a haircut and it didn't really go well. So I totally relate to him.
Yeah. So Instagram, right? So what would be the primary business for Instagram? Like what is that, like fashion more, or what do you think?
So I think any business can utilize Instagram. Now, Instagram is a very visual platform, right? So for example, your type of business, a collision repair shop, is an amazing business because you can put like before and afters, right? The quality work that you guys do at your shop. Now, let's say if you're a lawyer, you can also build an audience on Instagram where you talk about law and you talk about perhaps cases and you disclose whatever you can disclose, like stories, right? Or why you love your job, and you tell your story and you connect with people that way. So there's different ways that different businesses can use Instagram. For restaurants, there's no better platform than Instagram because you can put like amazing pictures of the food, right? So it's a very visual platform. So look, if you have a business that thrives of like again, like visual. Food industry, bars, events, stuff like that, they would thrive on Instagram.
Nice.
And also the demographic is different on Instagram. Like I would say the demographic on Instagram is probably like, I would say it's probably like 18 to like 35, 40. Yeah. Whereas on Facebook, it's more like 22, 23 to you have the whole way to like
60.
65. Yeah, and then on LinkedIn you have a little bit of everybody, but LinkedIn is a totally different platform,
Yeah,
right? Than
yeah,
like these two.
yeah. So, uh, do restaurants have LinkedIn? I don't think, maybe just the owners, right?
Yeah, perhaps owners. If I was a
Yeah.
restaurant, I wouldn't really have a LinkedIn, but as an owner, I would have a LinkedIn and I would talk about my restaurant. That's a very important point because, like, in today's day and age,
Yeah.
you don't want to market through a logo, right? Like Tesla, they're not marketing through the T. It's not the T of Tesla that's putting out the messages. It's a CEO, right? It's
Oh,
Elon
yeah.
Musk. When you think of Apple, it was Steve Jobs that got in front of it, right? Gary Vaynerchuk, it's him that's getting in front of it, gaining all the attention, and then people learn about Vaynerchuk, about VaynerX, Vayner
Mm,
Media, Empathy Wines,
yeah.
right? So Russell Brunson, he's a marketer, one of my mentors.
Yeah.
You saw him speak live at the 10X Growth
Yeah.
Con.
Yeah.
Sold 3 million from stage. He has a great book called Expert Secrets that talks about this and the importance of, if you're a CEO and you have a company, you need to be in front of the camera, or you need to have someone that does this for you. But your company should have an identity that's a person and not just a dry logo, because
Mm,
again, at the end of the day, we do business with people, not logos.
that's so true. Yeah. So that might be something they can look at as well. Is like, what was I doing business through my logo, or was I doing business through myself? And
Yeah.
that transition
Mm.
can be very, very useful during this crisis, because now they can relate to people, because I'm pretty sure everybody's going through the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if those restaurants or those businesses can relate, it's gonna attract business. That's so
Yeah, it's
true.
it's, it's going to be huge. And I'd ask you, like, maybe you can share a little bit about your story, because after GrowthCon, I saw you go hard on your personal brand.
Mhm.
Did that affect the business? Like, did you get more business, people seeing you with the big cash, like the big check that like you gave out,
Oh
and
yeah,
some of your content? Like, I bet you built community through that, and you probably got a
yeah,
lot of referrals, right?
yeah. That was yeah, because we did the gift cards.
Yeah,
We did the
I remember that.
and that was this. I think I had like that aha moment where I was like, man, you know what? I need to like create more attention,
Yeah,
and because I was never really big on social media and stuff, and then that was kind of like the beginning of the phase, I guess. And I remember, and you know what? I remember getting a lot of criticism for that,
mm.
because I came from like the streets, yeah.
Yeah,
So I still had that street lingo, and my wording, and but I said, you know what, I it's fine. I'll kind of work it out as I go.
for sure.
And so
The criticism probably wasn't coming from the people you're doing business with, though, was it?
no, it wasn't. No, it was just like me making a kind of a fool of myself. But I saw the impact it was making, whether it be through meeting new people because they're like, hey, I saw your video, or that
For
was
sure.
pretty cool, man. And just building those relationships, and yeah, it was very useful.
Yeah. I was listening to an interview with Grant, and he has a mantra that he says, like, it's something like, God, please give me haters, because if I don't have like haters, like I'm totally butchering what he says, but it's like, if I don't have haters, it means that I'm not like doing my job at putting my
Yeah,
message out there. And it's like, it comes with the job, right? And we're not gonna worry
that's
about
so
this.
true. Yeah,
Like, that's almost like a sign that you're going the right direction.
yeah,
When you start getting kind of criticism from some people, but you're also seeing the positive rewards
yeah.
of your efforts. And even Dan Kennedy, who passed away recently, one of the greatest marketers who ever lived, he said, like, if you haven't pissed off someone by noon, you're not marketing hard enough.
Yeah, that's so true. And that during that transition, it's not that you're doing bad marketing. It means that you're focusing more on like your targeted market,
Yeah,
because not everybody's gonna be your fan.
exactly.
So I guess that means that you're actually making some progress, and finding I guess you got to pay more attention then, whenever you start to whenever you start to get some negative feedback, and say, okay, And I listen to my feedback.
Yeah.
I listen to my feedback. I listen to uh, anything that we do wrong in business. Like I really listen to it and I say, okay, let's fix this, because that's the best advice you can get, is when someone
Yeah.
says, hey,
Sure.
y'all didn't do this right. And I was like, oh shit, like we need to fix it.
Especially from your customers,
Yeah.
right? And that's part of the having empathy part that we spoke about. Because if you're not taking that into consideration, you're not having the customer in mind. Like, for all the people out there, Jeff Bezos, he took Amazon public in like 1995.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since, like, he's had to rationalize his thinking to his shareholders. So every year he puts out the letter to shareholders.
Yeah.
And in this letter, he talks about his philosophy for how he's making decisions in the company and where he wants to take the company. They're all public, these letters. You can read them. But in it, you can see that like he built Amazon as a very customer-centric company.
Yeah.
Like his focus was the customer. Like, let's make customers the best customer service. Let's figure out what people want, right?
Yeah.
People want fast packages. They want them now. They want speed. Amazon Prime, get your stuff in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of that, what you just talked about. Like, what are my customers saying? Right?
Yeah.
Listening, having the empathy. What do they like? What do they not like? Right? And
Yeah.
it's such a key part of the process.
Yeah, that's so true. So, man, we covered a lot, dude. What else did we miss? Because so how important is like the Google Maps, the Yelp, those other little platforms?
Yeah. So critical. You should be on Google Maps. Like if you don't have a Google Maps account, this is the best time
Yeah.
to go on there and create your account, right, and start building it. Because you have downtime, right?
Mm.
If you should be on Yelp, right? Like you should, wherever. This is all part of engagement, getting
Yeah.
attention, right? Like whenever you go on Apple Maps, like you want to be there too, right?
Yeah, that's so
Like whenever
true.
you like, because a lot of people, they use Google Maps, but like I'm an Apple user. I use iMaps. I think that's how it's called.
How do you
iMaps.
how do you sign up for iMaps?
So it's a process, but like with anything these days, it's very simple to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like you can just Google how to do it and like just follow a step-by-step tutorial. And it's like, and that way when somebody goes on their iPhone and they look up collision repair shop in Texas,
Is that linked up with like the Siri?
I think so, and that's where things are heading, right? So it's all part of positioning yourself in these places. Those are critical, like search platforms, Google, Facebook,
Alexa,
Yelp. What is the other one? Angie's List.
The Alexa too.
Alexa. Yeah, it's going to be huge. That's where
so
things
true,
are heading.
dude. Yeah, sure. I know that we focus a lot on Google Maps and Yelp and not too much Angie's List, but you know what? The Apple, the iMap, that's something that I'm gonna look into.
Yeah.
Because everybody has an iPhone. The Siri, the Alexa, everything's going to voice.
Yeah.
You know, the faster you can put your business on those platforms, you're gonna be ranked a lot higher. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and not just putting your business on those platforms, but taking the time to build your presence once you do.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, like a lot of businesses listening to this conversation, they might have a Google listing. They might have a Yelp listing.
Yeah.
With no reviews. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to a collision, if we stick with your example, collision repair shop, and I see one that has 5 stars and 25 reviews, and I see one that maybe has 1 review and 5 stars, they might be better. But I'm going to the one with more reviews.
Yeah, so true.
So building your presence within these platforms is also super, super important. And right now, this is a great time to say, hey, guys, the next couple of months, years, the economy is going to be tough. Reach out to your customers, say, we're looking to build, we're looking to get ready for this. Your feedback would be amazing on these platforms. If we've served you, if we've served you well, if you're happy with our service, we appreciate we would appreciate if you went and gave us a review.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing time to do that. And with that being said, you asked me what we're missing. We're missing the last E.
Okay. Okay.
The 4E method, right? So we have engage, but we
Engage.
have empathy, engage, educate. And once you've taken people through these 3 stages, you're ready to enroll them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Enroll them into your vision, enroll them into your services. This is where conversion happens. This is where that chiropractor that did the parody about the haircut,
Yeah.
when the market opens up, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm open for business, right? Like, is your back hurting? Like, come
Yeah.
on, like I can help you out." Right?
Hey,
That's
so
rolling.
think about this, like the power of that video that he made. Like you're talking about it,
Yeah,
and then we're gonna share this video, and like, so that's pretty impressive. So
absolutely, absolutely, and it, this framework's so powerful because you're essentially taking someone that maybe doesn't know that much about you, a cold
yeah,
market, to a warm market. You've engaged with them, you've educated them, to a hot market. They know you, they know the value you can provide to them, and they're primed for you to enroll them because now they know you, right? It's like, and that's approach that a lot of businesses like right now that are advertising are not getting. They're just going straight for enrollment,
yeah,
right? And that's like asking a girl out to a date that you just see on the streets without even asking her name first,
yeah.
right? Like you have time to get to know her, to like
Good.
maybe like befriend her, right? And then like hey, like you want to go on a date now that we know each other? Like
Yeah,
you're cool, I'm cool. Like let's go on a date. And that's how I think business should be approached, and
yeah.
especially in social media.
That's so true. So there's I guess a question that most businesses ask themselves because they think that in order for their business to get noticed, can you hear me? Fine.
Yeah,
Okay. They think in order for their business to get noticed, they have to like pay for the Google Maps. They have to pay for the Yelp. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's benefits to it, right? These platforms were built like that. Like if you do pay, like you might get like a front listing.
Yeah.
You might be at the top of the list, and depending on the business, it might be worth to pay, right? Like let's
Yeah.
say if you're paying $200 a month and you generate a lead a month, and that lead's worth $2,000-$3,000 to you.
Yeah.
The
I guess you see what
ROI
you're
is
saying.
there, right?
Yeah.
That's where I would look at. Like always, when making marketing investment, advertising investment, there should be a return on investment. Always,
Yeah.
right? I don't believe in just putting out ads just to put out ads, right?
Mm,
Like there should be, whether it's long term, there should be a return on that investment. You should keep that in mind, even with the strategy that I'm sharing with you. It's
yeah.
all leading to the enrollment,
Yeah.
right? And if you're a business, like you got to enroll people in
Yeah.
your
You got to
business,
keep.
into your vision, to your service, and to your products.
Mm,
So,
that's cool. So they can start by, you know, looking at their Facebook, making sure that it's maybe a business page, or making sure that it's they they have the business page, but make sure if they have a personal page, to kind of intertwine it to
yeah,
where it's not so divided.
yeah,
Be more transparent, and just try to connect with clients.
absolutely.
Try to connect with clients at the same time. Uh, Focus on making sure your Google Maps is up and running correctly.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
Yelp. Uh, I mean the iMaps. There's several good platforms out there. I think we covered a lot of good stuff. Did I miss anything?
No, no. I think if you're a business owner and you're listening to this,
Yeah.
and you're not taking action on social media, you're potentially missing on one of the greatest times to hop on and
Yeah.
share your message and connect with people.
Okay.
And it's important to do so. And if you're not, this should be your wake up call.
Yeah.
Especially, it's something that I've been thinking a lot about, and that is where people are going to be over the next 2 to 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that we're in a recession already,
Yeah.
and there's going to be less money flowing around. 30% of the U.S. is expected to lose their jobs. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
right? That means people are going to be a lot more conscious with how they spend their money.
Yeah.
They will spend a lot more time in research mode,
Yeah.
right? They will pay attention to who has good reviews.
Mm.
They will go to people's Facebook pages and they will research them.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
if you don't have content on there and you don't have a presence, man, you're gonna lose a lot of business.
Yeah, man, that's so true. You when you said that, it made me think of something. Um, damn, what was I gonna say? I'll remember. I'll remember. I forgot.
It happens all the time. But yeah, it's powerful and again, there's never been a better time to do it. Social media is not going to go anywhere,
Yeah.
right? So, and if you need any help with this, reach out to me. I'd be happy to
Yeah.
advise you. If I can help you, I can help you, and if not, I can point you in the right direction.
So, if someone has questions, you want them to reach you through Facebook?
Yeah, add me on
Okay.
Facebook as a friend. Don't even go to my business profile. You can go
Okay.
check that out. Like the agency website's there.
Yeah.
The agency, but you're gonna do business with me. You
Yeah.
know?
What I'll do is I'll put your Facebook link in the comments on our Facebook when I post this,
Amazing.
and I'll put all your information there. And if is there anything I can help you with over here from Texas?
No, this is great, man. Stan, it's great connecting with you.
Yeah, man, it's good.
It's been cool. I don't think we've ever dove deep into this stuff, so I love these types of conversations.
No, I always, every time I would call you, we kind of would get talking, and we just kind of
Yeah.
keep going and going and going and going,
Uh-huh.
and I know that we could probably be on the phone for a long time
For
going over
sure.
different ideas because, like when you said like, for example, iMaps, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot, you know what? I didn't think about that, and it kind of gets me thinking. So I always enjoy those conversations. Hey, I hope you're doing well over there, man. If there's anything that you need over here, I'm not
Likewise.
sure. I'm not sure the condition of your city. If you're still like it's chaos or lockdown or what.
Yeah, there's still quarantine. I feel the states as a whole, they're kind of getting a little tired, a little
Yeah.
antsy of everything that's been going on. And
Yeah.
you can notice in the streets, like 2 weeks ago, they were pretty empty. But now when people are becoming a little bit more aware of the numbers, they're starting to go out and they're starting
Yeah.
to move around the city. Everything's still closed.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful to be healthy,
Yeah.
well, and my family as well. So I'm blessed, and
All
I
right,
hope
brother.
that's the same case for you.
Yeah. I appreciate your time. We'll definitely stay connected.
Absolutely. All right,
All right,
take care,
brother.
Sam.
Later.